Recording guitars in home studios, or indeed sometimes professional studios, can be problematic. We've got valve amps that hiss and hum, we've got guitars that squeak and rumble, we've got players that don't rehearse, and we've got fluorescent lights and computer monitors that create things that make our recordings sound bad. But now we have a new secret weapon. Izotope have just released the latest version of their flagship audio restoration software, RX8, and in there is a brand new guitar module just for us. If you record guitar, you need RX8 in your life, and here are 3 reasons why. So this is RX8, and at first glance it looks a lot like RX7, except it's got an 8 there, so it must be better, must be new, must be improved, and it is. However, we need to hear it. So I've recorded some sound samples with my guitar, and I've purposefully made them noisy, which was harder than I actually thought it would be, because I've spent ages making sure that doesn't happen. So here's the first example. It's terrible. It's something I would throw away and re-record. However, if I was up against the clock, or if I had received this file from another guitar player, or I absolutely for some reason had to use this take, this was the one, I can now use it thanks to RX8. Check this out. This is what it sounds like just without any processing. It's nasty. And you can see in this spectral readout that there's a nasty hum and a hiss going all the way through it. So using this guitar, what's it called? Guitar denoise module. This is the amp noise suppression. So select a nice little bit of noise. Let's have a listen. Nasty. I'm going to learn that. And listen to this. Whoops. Let's select both signals. Listen to this. This is Izotope's RX8 at work. It blew my mind. That's the second time I've heard it, because I did test it before I started recording, and it still blows my mind now. Wow. There's still a little bit of hiss there, and I could reduce that with the spectral denoiser, but from taking that first sample against the second sample, let's hear it one more time, what it sounds like before RX. So let's undo that. This is before. This is after. So it's not just about reducing that noise. I could have done that with a spectral denoiser, but it's about retaining the clarity of the guitar sound. I'm sure some audiophiles amongst you would say that it doesn't sound the same, and you're probably right. But dang, is that close. That is now a usable track. So RX8, 1 thumb up. There we go, 1 thumb. Let's take a listen to the second sound sample. In that recording, I purposefully played it with heavy picking sound for this example. I also then compressed the audio slightly so that the transients and the peaks weren't too loud compared to the rest of the recording, so that RX8 has to actually work for it and not make it too easy for Izotope. So here it is, and I'm going to bring, the reduction is currently at 0. I'm going to preview it and then slightly bring in the reduction so we can hear it go to work. Let's go. So one more time, let's just hear that beginning part. And let's hear it with full reduction. So you can hear that's really reduced. However, it's too much. It's too unrealistic. So I'm going to take it down to about there. And let's bypass it. So I don't know how well you can hear it. To me, it definitely works. To the untrained ear, it might be unhearable, unrecognizable. It's definitely there. So if we had some high frequency picking attack, this would definitely work. And I'm not as mind blown as I am with the amp denoiser, because that's so obvious. But let's take one more listen and I'll bypass it so you can hear it well. It's there, man. It's reducing that pick sound. So that's an extreme example, but definitely usable in a music production. On to number 3. For this next example, I've also used an acoustic guitar because apparently it's more noticeable. It's about squeaks and slides. Have a listen to this. It's not terrible. The second one's not terrible. The first one is awful, and I would re-record it. But again, let's assume that I can't re-record it, and I absolutely have to use this take. Let's see if this works. I have not done this yet, so we're hearing this for the first time together. Again. That, again, like the amp hum or amp denoise, that is mind-blowing. That saves a recording, which I guess what RX is all about. It saves you time. And of course, if this was the recording I wanted, if this was the performance I needed, my goodness. And it doesn't destroy the guitar recording. That's the point. So you could EQ that out. You could use some sort of noise reduction to get rid of that squeak or duck it. But you're going to affect the actual recording. If you're a music producer, or you own a studio, or you just record at home and sometimes make mistakes, then I think that those 3 reasons are more than enough to own RX8. It's just insane how clever this thing is. However, it does so much more. I've not even scratched the surface of what Izotope's software can do. I'm going to do one more thing for you. I'm going to show you how to make your own backing tracks. So here's a track of mine. It's called The Fall of Man. I recorded it way back in 2013. And I can use the new or the improved Music Rebalance to reduce or remove the vocal, the bass, the percussion, or other. So this is what it sounds like. And using this plugin, I will make a multi-track from this.
I could have been the scientist that made the great discovery. I could have been a banker spending everybody's... A few moments later.
For RX8 to split that roughly 4-minute song into different tracks took about 12 minutes. And that's on a fairly powerful new, in 2020, computer. But the results are pretty astounding. So let's have a listen. They're not perfect, but we'll talk about that after you've heard the stems. Here's a reminder of what the track sounds like. Let's hear the bass. So you can still hear some of the other instruments. However, let's go for percussion. Again, not perfect, but pretty darn good. Here are the vocals. We have to jump ahead a little bit here.
I could have been the scientist that made the great discovery. I could have been a banker spending everybody's money.
I mean, it's amazing what it's doing. Let's hear the other instruments, which are the guitars. So it's far from perfect, but it's taking an MP3 that I downloaded from my own Bandcamp and splitting it into 4 fairly usable tracks. So if you're trying to make a backing track for something, you're trying to cut the guitar out of something, then you can definitely do that with RX8. I chose this track so I don't have to pay any royalties to anybody else, but yeah, you should really play about with it and see what it brings you. So how does it do it? Machine learning. It's pretty simple, I guess, but not. They've fed thousands of sound samples into a super duper computer and told it what that is. So the machine has learned what these sound samples are. So say they fed it 1,000 vocal samples. It's more than that, but let's say they did. It now knows what a voice sounds like. So it'll try and discover that from the piece of music, just like we would as musicians. It discovers what a guitar is. So if you're trying to learn a solo from a track that's fully mixed, your ear can learn how to pick out those different sounds. And that's what the computer's doing. So it's insane. So to do the amp noise removal, they fed it sound samples of what not to record. So loads of noisy amps, loads of undesirable sounds. By telling it exactly what it is you want to take out, the computer can search for it just like we would with our ears. And that's pretty clever. So those are the 3 reasons. I'm absolutely flabbergasted at the power of this software, and think where it will be in 5-10 years time. It's already fantastic, but I don't know what's going to happen in the audio recording world. As a guitarist that works to a very, very tight deadline, this is going to save recordings for me and save me time and save me money. So I'm sold. I'm done. I'm ready. Put a fork in me. Thanks for watching. There are links below the video if you want to find out more information about the software. Also, thank you for watching this far. You've made it to the end of the video. You're part of the end of the video club. Well done. To prove that you are a member of this prestigious elite, when you're leaving your comment down there in the comment section telling me how much you love RX8 and all that sort of stuff, also leave the word Izotope dopey wopey. And that'll let me know that you made it to the end of the video. There are other videos on your screen right now where you can catch me. Otherwise, like, subscribe, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.